Hey, what is up YouTube? Lightsaber Samurai here. I'm back again with another video. And as most of you know by now, Sony has run it back on their decision to close the store, well, at least for the PS3 and the PS Vita. So hooray, we are saved. Oh no. Oh no. What, you thought that was it? You thought everybody was just going to say, pack it up, everybody. Let's bring down the prices on PS3 games. Oh, you thought it was sweet out here. Oh, no. The rising prices of PlayStation 3 games are here to stay, and I've got 5 more games that you need to buy yesterday. Let's talk about it. Okay, so I'm just going to get right into this. I'm going to rattle these off quickly here because I got some other videos to make. This is going to be a shorter video, but first off, on the list, this one is a game by Atlas, of course. So what does Lightsaber Samurai always say? If you see Atlas, buy it, ask questions later. If you don't have this game in your collection, you're collecting PS3, it's kind of your fault at this point. I say that because the retro video game community, myself included, has been telling you this game is going to rise in price and you got to get it before it does so. And so the first game on the list is 3D Game Heroes, of course, on the PlayStation 3. This game, like I said, is an Atlas game, so Atlas games, just in general, usually end up demanding higher prices. In this game, this takes place in the world of Dotnia. The king there has decided that everything shall be 3D, and what was once a 2D pixelated sprite type of a world magically transforms into 3D. You're on a mission, I can't remember, to find some 7 objects to save the kingdom. It's very Zelda, and it's everything. This is basically a love letter to the Zelda franchise. Cool thing, you'll be able to create your character, so you can create your character from scratch, or you can use a bunch of templates that they have prepared for you. I usually play as Rikimaru, so they got a cool little Rikimaru style template from the Tenchu series. And you go around and you find these 7 sacred objects to save the kingdom. Now, the graphics, as you'll see here, very kind of pixelated style, but like it's Minecraft graphics, but like good. So I mean, this is kind of doing the Minecraft thing before Minecraft really got popular. It also has a really cool tilt shift effect, so things will kind of look kind of toyish and small in nature. It's almost like you're a giant looking down on the scene, or like your kids looking down on your playset as you go through the missions. Very colorful game. The graphics are fantastic. Like I said, colorful graphics. You'll find yourself in a variety of environments, from mountainous areas to large fields and snow-capped areas. The combat in this, again, is very Zelda-like. So if you've played anything like Link's Awakening or the Oracle games like Oracle of the Seasons or the Ages, any 2D Zelda game that was top-down, you should be right at home here. Although, a slight twist here, your sword is actually what gets larger. It can grow to enormous, ridiculous size, and once you get that thing fully powered up, you'll be taking out entire screens full of enemies. Like the size of this thing gets ridiculous. All in all, like I said, I was lucky and got my copy for under $15, but now this game is almost at I think it is at $100 last time I seen it. So complete in box, 3D Game Heroes is at $100. You might get lucky with this game because I don't think this game was so under the radar that I feel like if people have it secondhand at the pawn shops and things like that, they might not know what they have. So if you see this game, even for the $100, like, I would have to say it's worth it. This game is fantastic. It's a long game. It's got some really nice replayability, and the fact that you can basically make whatever character you want and play as a bunch of like Sony-inspired characters. It's a really fun game. It's a really good game. If you would pay high dollar for a Zelda game, you would definitely pay high dollar for this game. Again, though, if you can catch it for under $100, grab it without hesitation, because this game is only going up from here. So, first game on the list, 3D Game Heroes. Okay, so moving on to the second game on the list, and oh, it's another Atlas title. Again, you see Atlas, you buy Atlas. It doesn't matter what the game is, doesn't matter if it's something you're interested in. Atlas, as a company, they put out good games, and so even if it's something you have a passing curiosity on, just go ahead and get it before everybody catches on to it, because Atlas games are usually some of the first to go and some of the first that rise in price. This one is not that bad yet, and I just picked my copy up recently for like 20 bucks. This is Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Now, this game came out on the Xbox 360 as well as Persona 4 Arena, but the Arena Ultimax has a massive new story mode to it. It's got some other gameplay modes and other characters in it. Basically, it's a fighting mash up from characters from Persona 4 and Persona 3, which Persona 3 had some of my favorite characters, and I think that goes for a lot of fans of the series as well. The fighting action in this is fantastic. If you played anything like Guilty Gear or Blaze Blue, plays very much like that. It seems like Arc System Works had a hand in this, although I don't see them anywhere on the box, but it plays exactly like something straight out of Arc System Works. So, not much to say about this game. Graphics are fantastic. It looks like a cartoon in motion. The character models are really well done. The music is fantastic because the Persona music is fantastic, and a lot of that is just brought over for the atmosphere. All in all, it's a fantastic game, and this one I think is north of $50 now, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I got this recently. I'm talking like something like a month and a half ago, maybe. I found it at Vintage Stock for $19.99, I think is what it was. So I just went ahead and scooped it. I had been looking for it anyway. So Persona 4, again, I think this one actually might take a dip because Persona 5 Strikers, which is basically the same game as this, but with Persona 5 characters, that one just came out on PS4, so maybe people will kind of forget about this one. But again, I think this one is ultimately going to be the expensive one in their series of fighting games because when it comes to the characters, most people are fans of Persona 3 and 4 the most, and so that's what people are most familiar with. I feel like a lot of people had negative things to say about the cast of Persona 5. I haven't played it myself yet. I own it, but I will dive into that later. But anyway, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, definitely one you should add to the list. Overall, it's a fantastic fighting game. So if you like fighters, definitely pick it up. If you like fighters and you like Persona 4 or Persona 3, it's a no-brainer. Okay, moving on, the third game on the list. This is another one that we have talked about before, and this one shot up surprisingly. This has been a $8 to $10 game for years now, and of course, I'm talking about Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom. Now, we talked about this game on a Hidden Gems episode like not too long ago, and again, I think I stated then that the game was like $10, so in the last couple of months since they announced the closing of the PlayStation Store and all of that, this game is over $40. I think it's edging close to $50 now. We've talked about this, like I said before. This game takes place in a mystical world. You play as I can't remember the character's name. Taro, I'll put it up on the screen. It's been a while since I played this. You use a mixture of stealth and hack and slash action to get through the levels. You'll eventually rescue the giant, the Majin, and together you guys will go on a quest to save the world in this video game. There's a lot of cool things. This reminds me very much like Guardian on the PlayStation 4, or was it Last Guardian, or kind of like Shadow of the Colossus, kind of that sort of thing. But in this, you have the Colossus on your side. The Majin is a formidable foe, and together you guys will pull off a lot of cool combos. You wield a key blade style weapon, kind of similar to Sora in the Kingdom Hearts series. It's just a really good game all in all. It's a fantastic action platformer that nobody really talked about for years and years, and all of a sudden people are scooping this up and it's a hot commodity at $40 to $50. Again, I think this is also one that you can find still on the cheap, so I would stay away from eBay and, the bull market, as my boy Joe Casey likes to say. Stay away from that. Try to find it first at the pawn shops, because secondhand, I still find this game quite frequently. Also worth noting that Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom is on the Xbox 360. Copies wise, I feel like the Xbox 360 version I see a lot less than the PS3 version, but the Xbox 360 version is like half the price right now. So even if you went on eBay, you should be able to snag a cheap copy of Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom on the Xbox 360, and I would say it's definitely worth it. Past, you know, 60, 70, $80, I would say there's better options out there for less money, but if you can find Majin cheap, definitely pick it up. Okay, so penultimate game on the list, and I admit I haven't really played this game much at all. I just kind of popped it in one time and thought, oh, that's a cool game. I'll come back to it. And then I never came back to it. But this is another one that I kind of had a feeling was going to get expensive. I saw this Metal Jesus Rocks, again, put me onto this game like 5-6 years ago on his channel, and it is Puppeteer. A couple of reasons why this game is going up in price. It's a Sony exclusive, and it's the only one in the series that it seemed like they were going to start a new series of games and start a new IP, and this had all the makings to do that. It's a fantastic kind of action RPG / adventure game. You play as a young boy who's magically transformed into like a wooden puppet. And so the main weapon you use is like these pair of like magical scissors, and you'll go around and use that to take out enemies and change the backgrounds and things like that. The objective in this game is to find your head and make it back home. And again, this is a very interesting game. The graphics are fantastic. Production values on Puppeteer are top notch. Let me say that again. I mean top notch. Sony put in a lot of work into this title, and unfortunately, people just didn't jive with it. I'm not sure what it was. I like action, platformer games, and I feel like a lot of people do, but this one didn't it just didn't take off like some of the other properties that they've made in the past. Last I checked, Puppeteer also was edging towards $100. Again, I got my copy a few years ago for $9, $8.99 is what I paid for it, and it's a shame that this game is getting so expensive, and I feel like not a lot of people have gotten a chance to play it yet. But luckily, the PlayStation Store is open, so you should be able to find this digitally for $10 or so if you just want to get a good play out of it. Ultimately, I think it's worth that and more. I'm definitely looking forward to finishing this game. Puppeteer seems like a fantastic idea by Sony that just never took off. So if you see Puppeteer, this also is highly recommended. Grab this one ASAP. Okay, and moving on to the final game of the list, and in the last episode, we kind of talked about Lollipop Chainsaw, and I was talking about how it was a Pseudo 51 game, and it reminded me of like a lot of the Pseudo 51 games, and so we have to talk about Shadows of the Dam on the PlayStation 3, also on the Xbox 360, and both copies are going up in price. Of course, this copy is the more expensive version at the moment. You can snag it up now for about $40 to $60. In this game, you play as a gentleman. I'm so bad at the names. I cannot remember the names. I think his name is Garcia. He is a demon hunter and makes his living as a demon hunter. Eventually, a group of demons got organized and kidnapped his girl, and so he's off on this adventure to rescue her and slay the demons responsible in the process. This is a great third-person shooting game that reminds me a lot of Killer 7. When you are using ranged weapons in that game, the perspective is exactly the same. It's taken directly from this game. So the shooting, I really like the style of it and the way it looks and feels in this game. You have a gun that's called the Boner. It's a sentient gun with a skull on the end of it, and he cracks a lot of jokes. The banter between those two is hilarious. You got a bunch of cheesy one-liners and just that typical, kind of Platinum Games, Sega, Capcom's like action, games with the cheesy dialogue that's just very endearing to me. I love games like that have that quality. This one is no different. The graphics on it are actually pretty outstanding, and all in all, it's just a fun game. Side note, your your gun, the boner, it gets upgraded and becomes a hot boner, I believe is what it's called once it's upgraded. But the two of you kick a lot of butt in this game, and this is exactly the type of thing that's right up my alley. Like I said, I was lucky and got this one some months back. This is another recent pickup that I found at Vintage Stock again, of all places, and they ran me about $15 for it. But again, this one is today between like 40 and 60, and it's going up fast. So 40 and 60 is still a price I would pay and not feel like I really had to bite the bullet to buy a good game. And this is definitely a good game. Again, you can find it for slightly cheaper on the Xbox 360, but only slightly. So if you see Shadows of the Dam on any system, or if you see it on both, grab them both. Okay, guys, I do believe that's all I got for you, but let's talk about it in the comment section below. Questions, comments, concerns, threats. What are some other PlayStation 3 games that are quickly rising in price? Again, I know that with the Sony's decision of continuing to open the store, that's given people a lot of hope that prices will go down, but I feel like the panic lasted long enough that a lot of people were going on eBay buying these, just taking the L and buying these at high prices. And not even just PlayStation 3 games. I was looking at some of my PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games, like Parasite Eve 1 and 2 on the PlayStation. Both of those were like $20 to $40, and they had been at that price for years. Now, the original Parasite Eve is like $80 complete, and Parasite Eve 2 is it's north of $150. So, I mean, people are paying the price, and so scalpers, I don't see resellers dropping the price anymore unless demand really goes down, which I don't think is going to happen. I think we are entering the new normal, and the time of collecting cheaply for the PlayStation 3 is quickly coming to an end. Again, if you can't really find these out in the wild, I would suggest going ahead and going to the digital store if you have to. But again, I always try to find these physical. You never know when PlayStation decides to go back on their word again and shut down the store again. Will they give us a warning? Will they not? There's still the whole issue with the CMOS battery issue as well, where on PlayStation 3, once that CMOS battery dies, you won't be able to play digital titles. So that's why I'm kind of halfway encouraging you to grab physical. Again, if you load up on a bunch of digital games and your CMOS battery dies before they have any kind of patch or solution for it, then guess what? All that money you spent on those, even though cheaper, all that money you spent and those games you have on your hard drive are unplayable. So what do you guys think about that situation? What do you guys think about the PlayStation prices in general? Let's talk about it in the comment section below. Questions, comments, concerns, threats. If you like this content, go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. You'll be glad you did. I do believe that's all I got for you. Lightsaber Samurai out, and peace.